Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. How is everybody? Welcome to your daily pop of positivity for Tuesday. I hope you all had a good weekend and your week is starting off right and you're feeling good. I'm going to pull some messages from this special deck that I have, and I want to use some of these gorgeous cards to start out with. And I love them because it's like nature and light melded together, isn't it? I love the greens and the oranges and the yellows. Beautiful, beautiful messages in these cards too. Oftentimes when I get new oracle decks, I'll read through the corresponding books that go with it, and I can pretty much memorize any of the messages that are pertinent to it, but I like to get rid of the book after I've used the deck a few times and just have whatever's channeling through that comes in that I feel like naturally resonates with the card. So I was starting to get some messages right when I put them out, and I love the imagery in this first one, acceptance. Now, acceptance is all for me, man. I gotta tell you, like, when I'm just like, okay, so things aren't going well this particular day, everything isn't falling into place, or you don't have as many finances in place as you'd like, we just have to be accepting of where we are, because we know that each day is supposed to be a stepping stone to understanding that when we try to make a construct so tight that the world and people and events in it turn out how we want, we're going to be disappointed, right? So let's have acceptance for the way things are. For example, let's take into account, okay, there is a pandemic, so there's restrictions, we need masks, there's limited space available in some shops, so on and so forth. When we accept that and we start to work within that, we have a different dynamic. Instead of complaining or being, I wish it was like this, we can wish, but it doesn't change the fact that there are certain people that act a certain way, impatient, obligated, entitled, whatever it is. But once we are accepting of that and we realize that's their lane, or that is just simply happening, it's happening around us and not to us. That's a really important facet to remember too. Not like, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. You'll hear that a lot. I can't believe so-and-so did this to me, right? Actually, they just did it. They did it near you and you decided to take it personally or participate in it. Yes, if somebody actually went in your house and took your, I almost said Walkman. Hello, 1980s. How are you doing? Walked in and took your telephone. Yes, somebody did something personally to you. You know what I mean? But usually in general, somebody says something, if we decide to take offense, it might not even be aimed towards us. So this is acceptance of the way things are now and doing the best with what we have, where we are, however we can, right? Like, say, for instance, we wake up late. Okay, it's not the end of the world. But it's all our perspective, how big we make something or how small we make something, how manageable we can make something, have acceptance. This works especially well if we receive not great news about our health or somebody that we love, their health. We want to bring good, positive, healing energy into it, right? So we accept it right away. You know, oftentimes the last part of grieving is acceptance that that person is gone. We go through a whole repertoire of other things, anger, and denial and all of that, and then acceptance is usually the last thing. But let's try to make acceptance be the first thing. It is what it is. It happened. It's here. It's going on. Whatever it is, and then make adjustments and be flexible. Number one best friend you have to be in acceptance is flexibility and flow, and just say, you know what, I don't have to have it be A, B, and C. I don't have to have this tight structure, because oftentimes when we implement all these conditions on something, we're not happy with the outcome regardless, because it's not to our specifications, even if it's better than we could have imagined. But people that just get this envisionment, I feel like this happens, here's an example, at proms, at weddings, it can be absolutely phenomenal, but because it's not what you pictured in your head, you have all this disappointment that comes in, right? So we have to let go of these crazy preconceived ideas and expectations and have acceptance. This often happens when we expect something from somebody in our family, right? Ooh, they're going to do A, B, and C because it's our anniversary or my birthday, or I'm not feeling well. And we just have to accept that people sometimes are in their own zone and lane, and they may not be aware of our needs. So when we're accepting of that, we take care of our own needs, right? I'm hungry. Maybe they don't feel like cooking for me, so on and so forth, things of that nature. So I feel like acceptance is everything to give us peace of mind and grounding energy, because then we're not fighting. I feel like when we're not in a state of acceptance, we're simply fighting everything and questioning everything, and Acceptance to me is just everything about just being in a flow state. And, regardless of what pops up, we flow around it, through it, we navigate, but we want to stay calm and collected. So I'm going to have a quick sip of water, and then we're going to see what riding the cosmic wave is. Oh, look, this card actually goes really well with that. I want to have these corresponding cards. Embracing the moment. Embrace this day, this very moment. Think positively today and repel those negative thoughts. Try not to judge yourself or others. This may be harder than you think. What is actually happening is that you're changing your energy. Absolutely. This is about perception and also how we respond to things. Like, I'll give you an example. Hagen and I just went shopping, and I said, well, there's 3 shopping centers right in a row, and they're about a half a mile apart. I dropped him off at the first one, and I was going to go to the second one, but I ended up going to the third one, and the first 2 are close enough to walk there. So I was still in my shop at the third shopping center in line, and he texts me, I'm by the car. And I thought, that's impossible. A, because he doesn't know where I am, and B, how would he know? Even if he came to this shopping center, it's so big, how would he know where I am? So I was like, where are you? And all of a sudden I started to get stressed because, he's 16, he can shop and he's a big boy, but I didn't want him to getting into like a strange car or whatever was going. And he's like, oh, I'm by the Wendy's here. And I was like, okay, you're a whole shopping center away. I'll come get you. And then all of a sudden I started to I was going to put everything back in the store that I had in my hand after I spent like an hour shopping for it. And I thought, why are you doing this? Let's get some perspective. It's literally going to take you 2 minutes to check out and get out to your car. Be positive. He's having fun. He's just sitting, he's sitting out in front. He's in a big shopping center. He can pop into shops. It changed my energy. I went from panic to it's no big deal, right? But it is a weird knee-jerk reaction. And I was talking about this the other day when it comes to, being plugged into that subconscious, just knee-jerk reaction, like fight or flight, what we've done before, all of that. And it's like, it's a new way to navigate where we just keep our calm and we realize nothing is that big a deal. Seriously, some of the things that we think we have to hurry and rush, so if we just took our time, we'd actually enjoy it, even if, it's a household chore. Like, I love the smell and feel of like warm laundry, but I always think of laundry as, ew, it's a task. But you can fold laundry while you're listening to music, while you're watching great programs, and you're not even noticing you're doing it. So, right, that kind of perspective, turning things that you think might be a hardship into a joy. So again, try not to judge yourself or others. It's one of those things where it's almost on autopilot, so we have to watch ourselves. I know I do that. Sometimes you ever see somebody that's just dressed like Pee Wee Herman, blend of a whole bunch of other things, and they're loud and gregarious, and first off, it's like, what in the world? And I love out there dressing. I love great expressions and stuff, but you know how that thing comes to your mind, like, oh great, someone's on drugs or whatever, because they look uber crazy, or they haven't had a chance to wash their clothes in a couple of days, or whatever's going on. We are very quick to judge at times on somebody's physical appearance and or sometimes how they speak, all kinds of things. So we really can retrain ourselves not to do that. Again, by this acceptance of other people's ways and mores and behaviors, and say it may differ from ours, but that doesn't mean it's better or worse, right? That's another thing. We stop comparing ourselves and feeling like we're less than or more than when we stop judgment too. So that's going to play really cool. That's riding the cosmic wave, just feeling great about yourself, staying in your lane, being happy with who you are. I try not to go on sites that have like all Victoria's Secret models and all people that look like that are like absolutely in the best physical shape of their life, because I don't feel super great after I see that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where physically it's like there are some things that we aspire to, but after you see it over and over and you see what is perceived perfection or whatever, you start to judge yourself. So staying away from that, just being happy and creative. And I feel like once we get in that zone and that energy that comes direct from source that guides us to create great things, works of art, expressions, songs, all of that, we're in a whole different kind of stratosphere. That's where we want to be, just riding the cosmic wave. That's happy, that's blissful, that's gypsy boho free, that's smiling, having that image of self where it's not a physical self, it's simply of the energy that's within you, and it's pervasive and it's also contagious. So when you're happy and upbeat and feeling good, people feel that, and then they also start to get in that lane as well. So you're really kind of lifting other people. Now, I love this too, legacy of light. To me, this really means it's like intuitive nudges. Intuition is really our language of the soul, and we're born with an aware and profound sense of inner knowing. And intuition is one of the greatest gifts that we possess. It keeps us connected to our higher selves, the universe, and our divine spirit. That's all the legacy of life, and that's what we tap into. And sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes it's very, very like obvious to us, right? And oh, I love this. I'm just going to pull one of these because it's on the top of the deck. Hope your loved ones in the spirit world know when to reach out if they see you're at a low point. Whether you're caught up in a difficult situation or struggling with someone specific in your life, there is always hope. This is part of the legacy of light too, that we always do have divine guidance and reassurances that come to us. And I get this with animal totems and animal spirits all the time. If I get extremely worked up, I go out my yard. Usually there's a crow or two just sitting there looking at me like, what up, and take it down a notch, eh? Seriously, like there will always be something. I'll hear crickets extra loud, ringing will be in my ear, the groundhog will run out, the turkeys will be going gobble gobble. Something will be going on where I all of a sudden realize that there is help around me, because like anybody else, my household sometimes can drive me batty. I see everything that needs to be done. And as a creative, I just have paint, beads, cards, everything sometimes can take up like multitudes of rooms and space, and it can be overwhelming because it reminds me not only of the work that I just did all day, but also what needs cleanup, so on and so forth. And also, anybody who's creative knows that our tools and resources are important. We don't want them damaged. It's like books. We don't want things spilled on them. We don't want them to become ripped or broken. So all of that. So once I step outside, I breathe deeply and I get messages, and they're constantly sending them to us. And I feel like you guys are going to have some fun things happening with maybe your lights and your electrical things going on, things dimming. As we get closer, especially with these double full moons, the 1st and the 31st, there is going to be off the scale activity with the veil so thin, and spirit and ancestors connecting with us in really cool ways. I'll give you an example. I just saw the craziest thing, and I was like, I was too much in a hurry to stop and take pictures, but it kind of blew my mind. It was perfectly sunny. I didn't see a cloud in the sky, yet it was raining. It was sprinkling it was sprinkling like medium. And so you could definitely feel it. It wasn't torrential, but I thought, this is crazy because it's super sunny. And I was like, I looked over to the two license plates right next to each other. One was Mary. It was like something Mary. And then the other one was L-A, however you spell water in French, l'eau, that's what was on the other license plate. And I was like, that is crazy. Water and then Mary. And I was like, and just that I paid attention to that because I was in a huge parking lot. But that's what I mean. And yesterday, and comment down below if you've been looking at the clock when all of a sudden it's 11:11, it's 2:22, it's 5:55, it's 4:44. That has been happening to me almost every hour on the hour. I pick up my phone exactly when that's happening. Yesterday it happened 6 times. I was like, that is crazy. Like, really being tuned in, and I feel messages coming through, and in the dreams and all of that. So you guys just remember, when we want to tap into that legacy of light and know that we have optimal conditions by just stopping and being aware. Okay, now we are in conscious awareness. What signs are we looking for? What messages are we receiving? We're riding the cosmic wave. We're feeling light and bright and free, and we're not in this heavy 3D energy of obstacles and problems. And part of that begins with accepting who we are, perceived faults or no, acceptance of the conditions of the world in which we are in right now, with people, with family members, health conditions, whatever. Once we accept that and we stop battling it, we get in that flow state. We ground out. We make good decisions. We stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We stop antagonizing others around us because we're displaced energetically, right? We are now sound. And I feel like all of this is just going to bring you, a big hello from heaven and a big cosmic hug, and saying, we are our thoughts. So as soon as one thought comes in and we don't like it, just kick that thought out before it becomes a mood, before it becomes a behavior, and say, I'm opting out of any negativity today. And try it, because this is all about rewiring our brain right now with feeling more positive. And I read this thing and I definitely believe it, that if each day we try to think of 3 things that are some of our happiest memories, we start to rewire our brain to go to those places that bring us positive reinforcement, and we start to feel better. And when we start to get low or tired, we can bring ourselves back up through positive reinforced pictures in our head. So that's something that helps me as well. I just usually picture me listening to music and making jewelry and chilling out. So whatever works for you, it's like just reach for that and it'll be very helpful. So again, you guys, I want to thank you so much for all your beautiful comments and your support and your messages. It means the world to me. You guys are utterly, utterly amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Melanie. I would love it if you'd press like and subscribe so you can know when all my new videos are coming out, and come over to Instagram and get on the jewelry giveaway this week, which is a full set. It's a bracelet, it's a ring, and it's a necklace of those white fire topazes. Really gorgeous, like fire white stones. Are amazing. I think that they are like on par with diamonds. Really high quality diamonds. The way they capture the light it's so intense and so beautiful. And every week I do that. I put together something. It's either free reads, jewelry, goddess provisions box, whatever it is, and I just do a drawing over there. And by subscribing over here and following me over there, you're automatically entered in everything. So again, you guys, thank you, and remember, embrace the moment. That's what it's about. Conscious awareness of what we're doing right now, so we can, level up and really participate in our life in a big, coherent way. Like, we know what's going on. We are not getting on that treadmill and doing things that are like we could do in our sleep, right? We are really having some intense focus on areas we want to change, and intense focus on things we want to enjoy. When we see something beautiful, stop, put everything away, and really drink in that moment, because that's what it's about. So love and light to you guys. I'm going to go upload.